In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to add an object to the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. We're going to start with updating this statue. We're going to change it to the Statue of Liberty. Now to make this selection here, it would be pretty easy to use the magic wand or the color selection tool that Dan showed us, but I have already prepared this file with a pre-chosen selection. So I'm going to hit the Command and left click on this, which automatically selects the area that was saved in an alpha channel, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Come over to the Notre Dame image and paste it in here. Command T is going to let me resize it, and I'm going to try to get it so it's about the same size as that other statue. I am holding the Shift key down as well, so that when I'm changing the size of it, I'm not actually changing the aspect ratio. I'll get it in there so that it's about right. Now, I want to get rid of this base from the Statue of Liberty, but I don't want to do it in a way that destroys the actual image in case I have to come back to it or undo it. So what I'm going to do is take and create a layer mask and then use my eraser tool, make it a little bit bigger, and get rid of the base. Now, don't ever work this far out. Zoom in. Get a good close look at what you're working on. Zooming in, I notice that the Statue of Liberty is tilted a little bit to the left side, or to the left, so I'm going to rotate it just a tiny bit and recenter it. And then come back in and continue trimming. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim just up to the edge, and hopefully nobody will notice. Now, for example, if I wanted to actually come in and add some more back in here, I could swap my colors, and now I'm painting back in from the original. But I don't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and swap back, and then delete. Now the nice thing about this is that there is no destruction going on here. All of the original image is still there, and we can paint back into it. Now the nice thing about this is this Statue of Liberty has completely covered the other statue, so I don't need to worry about like cloning in the sky or the trees or whatever. I might consider in the future getting rid of this lamp just because it's a little bit of a distraction, especially coming in this far. The thing that I don't like about it is that there's all of this sort of soot and dirt on here that looks, well, it contributes to the shadows, so I want to lighten that up a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and create a new layer, grab a paintbrush, change it to lighten, and drop my opacity way down, and my flow down as well. Now, before I start this, I want to make sure that I'm only working in the Statue of Liberty. Oops, let's make sure we're on the right selection layer. Let's try this again. Load selection. Make sure that you're not in the mask, but that you're in the transparency. And you'll notice that it's also like sort of looking at the rest of the statue base. That's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to come back up to this, and you'll see that I can paint, and it's lightening it just a tiny bit. And by painting over just little bits of it, I can bring out some of the shadows and make it look like it fits in there a little bit more. Now, one of the things I want to pay attention to is like the sharpness. Is this as sharp as the base that it's on? And it looks like it is. So I'm just going to leave that well enough alone. And there's my Statue of Liberty. Let's take a look. Yeah, she fits in there pretty well. Alright, this picture needs a little bit more excitement. And what could be more exciting than a tiger? So, again, with this image, I have a pre-made selection. I'm going to copy the tiger, come over to the Notre Dame image, and paste it in, resize it. I want to put it just behind that bush, I think. Like right on the other side here. Now you remember the selections that Dan made in this image. Let's go over to the channels and select the foreground. Come back over to our layers, go into our background layer, and copy that. Oops. Pasted another tiger. Copy the foliage in the front and place a new image. Put that over top of our tiger. And voila. Tiger behind foliage. And if you look closely, the foliage it has a little bit of a hard edge. We're not going to worry about that too much today, but what I want to do is I'm noticing that this cat, the colors are so vibrant compared to the rest of the picture that it sort of stands out. It looks like it doesn't belong. So what I'm going to do is take and create an adjustment layer. First of all, I'm going to select my cat, and then I'm going to take and make an adjustment layer. Now I'm going to the hue and saturation option, and I'm going to drop the saturation on it a little bit to make it blend a little bit more, and maybe toy around a little bit with the lightness as well. Now I think lightness is probably okay. It just feels like the saturation needs to be dropped a tiny bit. And now it fits in a little bit better. One last thing that I want to add. The picture is starting to be art, but it needs a giant piece of art. So I'm going to go and grab Marcel Duchamp's fountain. Copy it. Paste it into the image. But I actually want to paste it so that it's like really enormous, but behind the church, like maybe another tower. So what do I need to do? I need to take and it's going to be a little bit of a problem because I need to put everything in front of it. So let's take and drag it down so that it's just above the background. Oh, didn't like that for some reason. There you go. So everything that's in front of it is already sort of placed. Then I'm going to go over to my channels. I'm going to ask for you to excuse me while I select the sky. And then I'm going to invert the selection. Go back to my background. Copy it. And paste it into a new layer. Now, this layer needs to be over top of it, but you'll notice that suddenly everything is in front of the giant toilet. It does not look realistic in the slightest bit, but then again, it's a giant toilet. So just as a quick consideration to it, I'm going to drop the opacity of it. And there you have it. Using the adjustment layers and using some of the other blending options, we've created or dropped several objects into here that have a certain illusion of depth. Of course, nobody's going to believe that there's a giant toilet in the background, but sometimes that's the way that it works out, huh?